you played for Carlisle are playing Sutton on Saturday. So what we look to do with the podcast is to get a former player who's played for both clubs,
Oh,
and you
awesome.
more than fit that bill. You signed for Carlisle. Was it Keith Millen was the manager at the time?
Keith Millen was, yeah. He was a manager.
Yeah. Now you came to you came up to Brunton Park with Sutton on a Saturday. You came on as a substitute, had a really good game,
Yeah.
and a few days later you signed for Carlisle. Now,
Yes.
two questions there is, did you have an inkling before you came up that you were due to sign for Carlisle, or that Keith Millen was interested? And although you'd spent a little bit of time earlier in your career up at Inverness in the Scottish Premier, did you have any qualms about sort of leaving the south and moving up to the wild north?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I remember that game fondly. It was I wasn't 100% sure. My agent did say that there was a little bit of interest, but nothing concrete. But I think the 20 minutes that I played must have convinced Keith Millen that he needed a bit of Sho-Silva in his team.
Yeah.
So straight after that, I think somewhat interest was more concrete, and then the ball was rolling.
Right. Did you have any? Did you know Keith Millen beforehand? Because obviously he's Croydon, so he was. I mean, it's a big place.
I know. Yeah, no, I didn't actually know him beforehand. But where I was living in Sutton, obviously wasn't a million 2 miles away. I was down in Purley, so that wasn't even too far away from Croydon. So always like to check out the manager, where he's from, if we'd spike up a good relationship. So
yeah, he lived in my old street in South Croydon. But when you joined, obviously the team was struggling. Did Millen feel like a manager under pressure?
For me, I wouldn't say that he did. He was really quite composed. Obviously, he understood the situation that the team was in, but he gave me a lot of belief. He gave the boys a lot of belief, and was actually quite surprised when he did leave. I know the fans had high expectations from being such a big club, well followed. But I didn't feel like he was under much pressure.
Yeah. Did you get a sense when you moved from Sutton to Carlisle? I mean, I actually live in Sutton, so I've got a bit of sympathy for him. But did you actually feel like you were moving to a bigger club, bigger stadium, more fans, etc.? Did you get the sort of the bigger club vibe with Carlisle?
You know what? I'd played for bigger clubs before, like you mentioned, Inverness and Charlton. I knew what a big club sense was, but I didn't really know where Carlisle was. Only when I went up there was the first time when I played for Sutton that I'd actually gone up to Carlisle. But actually seeing it and sensing it, I could sense that it was a club with big expectations, and I guess that comes from a lot of history from the club in the past. So I loved my time at Sutton, a great family club. Probably one of the highlights of my career, playing for Sutton and winning promotion to the EFL for the first time, 125 years. But obviously I knew what success was as well, in terms of when I was at Halifax and being at Sutton. So I knew what it took to win, which was...
I mean, you had a really good goal scoring record at Halifax in the National League, didn't you? You got into double figures. And when you started at Carlisle, you scored some momentous goals early on as well, didn't you? You scored an incredibly late equaliser at Colchester in just your second game. And then a few weeks later, you got that absolutely mental goal at Tranmere, sort of 90 plus 7 in front of the travelling Carlisle fans. And I was reminding myself of it in the video on YouTube earlier, and your arms are aloft, you circle in the box. It was a great moment. I mean, you must still remember that with some fondness.
It was good, and I think they're the moments. I always say, football's really about moments and people, and as fans and as players, we're all here to make memories that we can talk about for years to come with the people that are in the same kind of location and path as us. So it's I won't forget my time at Carlisle. And so
when Keith Millen went and Stimo arrived, I mean, did the whole place just change overnight in terms of expectation, excitement?
Yeah, I think
The guy's a legend in the town.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend in the town, and I've got big respects for what we achieved as a team there with him at the helm. I think with I guess a manager who's brought you in, you kind of step into an unknown, because a new manager brings new philosophies, a new style of play, and sometimes you don't know what you're going to get with a new manager. But he was good from day one.
You had a good relationship with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
really.
used you for that first season. You were mainly on the bench, which I guess was a little bit frustrating. And but you certainly helped. You contributed with those goals I was talking about. It must be frustrating to be on the bench so often. Did you chat to Simo about that? And obviously, you would have wanted a place in the starting lineup.
Yeah, of course. That's the reason I guess I made the sacrifice to go from Southeast London to Cumbria. To play football like every footballer wants. So, but you got to understand at the same time that as footballers, we're part of a team, and I think sometimes that's in the back of our minds too often, that we're trying to achieve something for the club. And he always used to say that no one's bigger than the team themselves, and that when you're ready, play your part. So I understood that, as frustrating as it is. If you throw your toys out the pram, it doesn't often help you get in your shirt. So kind of muck into the vision of the club, and conduct yourself in the right manner. So I've got a lot of respect for Simo, a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he's still I think he was a little bit unfortunate at the end, but he's still well remembered in Carlisle. I've got one question here. Somebody put it to me. Something about a pre-match routine.
Yes.
Yeah, both 6-yard boxes, all 4 corners, and the centre circle.
Yeah.
Now, what is that all about?
Oh, so interesting. It's something which I remember watching a video of Wayne Rooney back in the day, and he was talking about when David Moyes was his manager, and he never let him train when it was in the rain. He always told him to come in, and Rooney went back to Moyes, and he said, "How am I going to have a picture in my head of what it's like to play in the rain? For when the time comes." And ever since then, I've been doing visualizations on the pitch, just getting my angles right, getting distances right. Some pitches are a bit bigger, some pitches are a bit softer. But one of my big things is I like to pray on the pitch as a Christian myself. My faith is a big part for me, and centering myself around where I am today. I think so many times in my early stages of my career, you can not be present. You can be there, but you're not there. And I don't think you can afford to do that as a footballer. So for me, I'm always like, let me get on the pitch, focus in on this 90 plus minutes, trust in the Lord, who gives me my confidence, my faith, my purpose, my identity, my freedom, and really just set myself up in good preparation for what I would say is arguably the most important 90 minutes of the week, so.
Good. But obviously your faith is probably the most important thing to you in your life, is it? Or
I would say it is. It's kind of it is the foundation to everything. I strongly believe, and I think so many people have so many big questions about life. Why am I here? Who created me? Where do I go and where do I turn when I'm down and low? And I strongly believe that God created us to have a relationship with Him. And in that relationship is found the true life and everything that you need for life, and godliness. So
But you've used your faith in a footballing sense as well, haven't you? In terms of 2023, you won a PFA Community Award for the work that you did in the community, and I understand that some of that was kind of faith-based, mentoring young players. I mean, that must have been a really, really proud achievement in your life, and must give you great satisfaction. And I'm guessing you're still continuing that work where you are now.
Yeah, still continuing that work for myself. I know what it's like to be down and out and kind of not have anybody believe in you. I strongly believe that God believes in me, loves me, and loves me enough to be able to share that love with other people as well, whatever that looks like. And I'm a big believer that everyone deserves an equal chance and equal opportunity. So any way I can help and be a blessing is what I'm all about. And I guess that stems from, in 2017, started a charity around my faith and supporting players of faith and people that are looking for hope. So we've done charity work around the world in Rwanda, Kenya. We've gone to Albania and Kosovo, done football tournaments, which has been amazing. Yeah. And then done loads of stuff locally in universities, schools, prisons, just sharing the hope that we get from our faith, and hopefully to be a blessing and a support to others.
Well, listen, I can make no promises, but I'll see if I can. It's obviously good work. The London branch. I'll see if we can help you in some way.
That'll be it. That'd be amazing.
I guess you're always looking for the folding stuff because nothing's cheap. Even trying to help people has a cost to it, doesn't it?
It does.
They're absolutely fantastic. Conscious that I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, honestly, I'm good. I'm good for time. As long as you got some good questions, I'm good for time.
Well, to be honest, some of these questions came from Andy Hall.
Yeah. Oh, Andy.
Andy, yeah. And one of his questions is, when are you going to buy him the cup of coffee you promised him 3 years ago?
Tell him to get himself down to London, and then I definitely get him one. Now I'm due to go back up. I'm I'm still connected with the church there, the Elam Church, the club chaplain Dave Allen. Was my pastor at that church there. So it was just a really good relationship that we built up, me and my wife. So yeah, definitely due to go back up. So when I do, I'll be knocking on Andy's door. Don't worry about it.
You do that. But yeah, just a couple more questions anyway. You've had a decent football career, but is it frustrating that you didn't make a bigger mark at some of the clubs?
It's an interesting one because
something you've come to terms with now.
It's a really interesting question because as much as I'd love to change my journey, I think I wouldn't change it for the world, and obviously I would have loved to make bigger marks. But I think one of the things I'm quite big on is leaving good impressions, whatever that is. Whether it's on people, whether it's on teams. I've had great success in my career, I believe, from where I've come from. Yeah. And the things that I've achieved, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, has been quite good. And I think sometimes, for whatever reason, things don't necessarily always fall into place. But I've always said to myself that I'm Tobi who plays football. Football's one of the things that I do. And Tobi is who I am, and one of the core concepts. I've actually got a book coming out this Christmas called More Than a Footballer, and it's a little bit about my journey, but it's a little bit about other areas of players' lives outside of their football identity. So I'm really quite big on winning. I love winning. I'm all for winning, but I'm all for winning both on and off the pitch. So yeah, some things are within your control, some things aren't. I would have definitely probably paid myself some more money as well, given myself a few players of the season. But yeah, just reflecting back on it, it's been a good journey so far, and we're still going.
So what does the future hold for you then? Because at the moment you're playing for Kidderminster Harriers. They seem to be going pretty well at the moment. But you're commuting up to Kidderminster from London, or across to Kidderminster from London, are you? Or have you relocated?
Yeah, been able to relocate, which has been quite nice. A little bit closer. So, yeah. What does the future hold? I don't know. I'm a big believer of kind of leveraging relationships to be able to help other people. So, any way that I can, hopefully, my name's mentioned, it's in a helping capacity, where I've helped someone up, or I've helped someone forward, I've helped open a door for somebody else. And my big heart is for the 98% of players that don't make it, for all the players going to retire one day, and what's next, for the life off the pitch when they've had a bad game, or even if they've had a good game, how are they doing, as individuals? So I think some sort of either advocacy in that area, or just supporting players through the experiences that I've had, both highs and lows in the game, and supporting the next generation, really. So yeah,
it must be really tough for young players. I mean, you came through the Charlton system, but you had to go elsewhere to carve out your career. But it must be hard for young players at the age of sort of 17, 18, and they've got their heart set on playing for whatever club it is they're at, and then they find that they're cast adrift at a relatively young age as well.
Yeah.
Probably not mature enough to be able to cope with the pressures and what's actually happened to them. For most people, that kind of disappointment only comes later in life. But for footballers, it can happen quite early, can't it? So I guess the work that you do there, helping young players, is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I agree with you. And I think sometimes we forget how young these players are. Teenagers being released, people in their early 20s, and they have no other profession but football. Like, where do you want them to turn? Dealing with emotion, dealing with life, dealing with starting a family, finances, all of these different things where the sacrifice of football can maybe shelter you from these things, and sometimes players can be seen as commodities. You scored this many goals, or you're playing well, or you're no good to our team because you're injured or you're out of form. We've got to remember that we're human beings as well. And I think if we can bring that message across fans, we can bring that message across boardrooms, we can bring that message across changing rooms, I think the ecosystem of football will be a much better place, especially with the high statistics that so many people aren't necessarily going to make a career from the game. So, yeah, that's probably the seat that I sit in from kind of the experiences that I've had with my studies and just finishing my master's degree and talking to so many different people, being on journeys and coach journeys, sitting with players for hours and having conversations, just having that understanding of both sides, the corporate and the business side, but also the playing side, and saying, how can we bring this together so it's a win-win for everybody, and that's what we want at the end of the day, because it's a beautiful game. Football is a beautiful game.
I'll tell you what, just a brief conversation that we've had, to be honest, football needs more people like you. In fact, life needs more people like you, mate. Absolutely fantastic. I've only got one more question to ask you. And that is, Carlisle plays Sutton on Saturday, sorry. Have you got do you want to see? Sutton fans will undoubtedly watch this as well. Do you want to make a prediction, or do you just want to sit on the fence and just hope it's a good game and everybody enjoys themselves?
I'm not a huge fan of sitting on the fence, even though that sometimes comes with stick. But I just seen Carlisle bat at the team the other day. So, and I've got more friends at Carlisle than I do at Sutton at the moment. So
I think you'll keep in touch with some of the lads at Carlisle, sort of people in Carlisle.
Yeah, no, still do. Jack Ellis, Gabe, Terrell Thomas used to play with me at Charlton. David Adjiboye obviously played with me at Sutton. He scored
in that game that you played at Brunton Park, and he scored in the first game when Sutton beat Carlisle 4-0. So Breeze is doing really well, and Jack Ellis scored yesterday as well. So he's doing well.
Yeah, I've seen that. Terrell Thomas scored I think it was last week. So it's so still got some good ties and connections up there. So I'm thinking, just with the form that Carlisle are in and just their ambitions for the season, I'd probably be swaying towards Carlisle. I'm not 100% sure score wise, but they've got a strong outfit this season.
It's been absolutely fantastic to speak to you, Toby. The work you're doing and the work that you've done in the past is absolutely fantastic. You've got your book out in December, you said? More than just a footballer?
Yeah.
More than we get into the Blues store. I think that would be an interesting read. And I'll certainly be getting a copy myself. But it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you, mate.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well,